You're listening to The Positive Professional with me, Tracy Yvonne. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 36. Today I'm going to examine some helpful strategies that you can use to cope with anxiety. And you should know that these strategies are not to be used in isolation from other methods. To start with, it's always helpful to be able to identify what sets your anxiety off. Because it is often something that affects you strongly, you may be able to identify some of these triggers by yourself. Some other triggers play on a subconscious level because they are, or they form part of a regular life. They also may have been going on for so long that you're already used to them. These are much more difficult to spot and may take a licensed mental health therapist to unearth. An example of this is a financial situation or a stressful job. Whatever it is, identifying helps to take steps towards managing them. And you can try to reduce your exposure to them for those that can be reduced. For others that you cannot avoid, you can employ some coping techniques to make them better. And secondly, it is essential to practice self-care. Self-care means taking steps to improve your health and overall quality of life. And everyone should be conscious about self-care, even without an anxiety diagnosis. Sadly, because we easily get caught up with things that we do, it's often overlooked. And self-care is both physically and emotionally. It helps to recognize the periods in your life that gets tenser, and then it preaches that you have to take a breather. It is often usually entails exercising regularly or eating healthy and getting enough sleep. On the emotional side, it involves putting a safe distance between the things that cause you stress and agony. It also generally means slowing down and taking each bit of life as it comes. And you may be surprised to find that this can eventually make you more productive. With this, your stress levels are much more reduced, and you will cope better with the anxiety. Now, another quite crucial strategy for coping with anxiety is meditation. And to get the best results from meditation, you have to create a routine for it that you don't skip. And it really doesn't have to take a long time, but the results are usually additive and enormous. A similar but also effective method you can adopt is focused and deep breathing. Taking deep breaths, particularly at times when you're about to break out into anxiety symptoms, are much helpful to slow your heart rate and eventually calm you down. Alternate taking those breaths a specific number of times for a specified amount of time. You will be able to lessen those awkward feelings. And it takes a high level of mindfulness to remember to do this when anxiety surfaces. Managing anxiety is a deliberate process, and you have to approach it with much determination. And think about questioning your thoughts. It's not unusual to experience negative ideas that can fester in your mind, distort your reality, and leave you feeling anxious. However, these negative thoughts may be a true likeness of your real life. So it's usually beneficial to question these thoughts and challenge your fears. Doing this helps you to know if they're true or not, and you can attain control over them. Next up is to practice writing down your thoughts. More than just questioning them, writing down the thoughts that give you anxiety usually reduces their impact as they are effectively moved out of your head and onto a piece of paper. It gives you the ability to assess those thoughts objectively. Similarly, writing them down gives you a baseline to evaluate yourself with, since you can then track your thought processes and patterns. Essentially, you'll be able to see those thoughts from another perspective and know the one worth having. And furthermore, aromatherapy is often touted as beneficial to ease anxiety. Aromatherapy is a healing method wherein you use plant extracts, particularly essential oils with an appealing odor to improve overall health. This is a soothing method that you're exposed to nice scents in incense, oil, or candle form, and such scents that are used to include chamomile and lavender. And the idea is that the exposure to these aromatic oils activates the brain's receptors, eventually lending to a calmer effect. Additionally, you should engage in activities that keep you moving. Exercising routinely does a lot of good, from improving your physical health and helping you to cope with anxiety. During exercise, certain hormones are released into your bloodstream to make you feel happy and much more confident about yourself. And although exercise is a common way to get these feelings, taking a leisurely walk or bike ride will do you a lot of good. And I'll be providing you some more strategies in the next segment. Today's episode is brought to you by Ivy Elite Training. Are you looking for low-cost professional development workshops, topics like emotional intelligence, diversity and inclusion, and more? Then visit www.ivyelitetraining.com. That's www.ivyelitetraining.com. Okay, point to note. If you're in a situation that triggers your anxiety, one way to prevent those symptoms, if you are able to, is to walk away. By walking away from a situation, you can take your mind briefly off the disturbing situation and prevent an otherwise imminent anxiety attack. Another strategy for coping with anxiety that I'm talking about today is to leverage your support system. As much as the uneasiness can be overwhelming, you can derive a lot of comfort from your family members or a close friend. You shouldn't hesitate to talk to any one of your loved ones about how you feel in particular situations. And because they are close to you, you'll find it easier to open up to them, and they can help you sort through your emotions to help you feel better. In picking any such loved one, you should consider the person who will be very supportive of you and listen without judging you. Leveraging on those people can give you a different perspective and to help ease your anxiety gradually. And the last point I'm going to mention today is to know when to seek help. Regardless of how strong your personality is, you can always benefit from extra assistance. With frequent bouts of anxiety that you find yourself unable to manage, you should identify the signs that point you to getting professional help. Seeking out a licensed mental health professional who can listen to your concerns and suggest methods that's going to help you. These people have experience in dealing with similar cases, so you can be sure that you're in safe hands and that a plan can be designed specifically to help you get better of your anxiety. There are different means of getting this type of help, whether in group therapy, individual sessions, or if you prefer to engage in online counseling. Whatever method rocks your boat, just be sure to employ it to get better. So there you have it. This brings us to the end of this episode of the podcast. And I do hope that you've picked up something to do the next time you're faced with a situation that makes you anxious. Thanks for joining me today. I look forward to you tuning in to another episode. Make sure that you've subscribed to this podcast and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Stay safe and be well.